Hello, hello, hello. All right, sorry, I was trying to get an email out of message. Parent messaged me, and I was like, "Oh God, I was trying to get in touch with you yesterday." All right. So where are we at right now? Day of this morning, retail sales not looking great, but there was an adjustment last time. I think this is we talked about it yesterday, and I think it's important to note. Whenever you have these splits, you got to kind of see what the change was. So last time was expected to be negative. It showed that it was actually flat. So the forecast, I don't know, quite a bit down from where we were. And then the same thing last time. It was still negative. It wasn't as negative as it was. It was expected to be four, came in much, much higher than that. Hold on. Sorry. I apologize. This parent, she's trying to figure this thing out. All right. Sorry. Um, yeah, I'm just trying to lock down like the last player. It's for the Sixes boys tonight. When you only have 10 kids and one of them is injured and one of them's on spring break and you're down two kids, it's like, oh my God. So I've been scrambling all week. All right. So, yeah, retail sales, not great whatsoever. We're going to get the University of Michigan consumer sentiment as well as expectations coming in. Those will be important. And then again, Waller speaking, Waller's already spoke, talking about the different tools. Not right now. What we're seeing from Waller is kind of dollar strength with it. Some of the things here, longer than expected by the markets, monetary policy would need remain strict for a substantial amount of time. So this is important. And even with retail sales, seeing this in here and the substantial part of it, this goes back to what we mentioned yesterday. Um, um, Remember we talked about how people are going to, the market right now believes that there's going to be a 0.75% drop this year. This year, even though the Fed has said nothing until next year. I think even comments from somebody like Waller saying this, that we need to remain strict for a substantial amount of time. It's like, wait, what? Aren't you dropping at 0.75 this year? That's coming in as more of a bullish sign. Inflation is still too high, and my job is not done. Right? Core inflation not shown much improvement. Again, remember, I keep bringing this up, but everybody, the only headlines we really see are the actual CPI. And I keep saying core, 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 core. Here's what the Fed's looking at: the core inflation, right? If you remember from the very, very beginning, the first numbers that actually supported that the Fed was doing something was when Bernard says it doesn't matter what CPI is doing. The core number says this. This is what we're looking at. Everyone has forgotten that. Now she hasn't. I mean, you don't see her name anywhere anymore. She's gone silent because everything she said in the beginning was not great. Um, I think it's so important that he mentioned core because the market is just ignoring core. Um, you know, not much shown much. Inflation is still too high. My job's not done yet. It's just a rehash. So that's why we're seeing dollar strength roll into the markets. With that being said, knowing that they are going to continue to raise interest rates and things like that, that doesn't look great for the market. But as well as if the consumer is not spending anymore, and we're seeing lower spending, that was kind of the big. That was the big question. It's like, well, what's going on, right? Um, awesome. It's a kid that used to play for me, and he's going to come back and play again. So, this is not the best of signs. I agree 100% with Waller says. I think that's dead on. It's what we've been echoing on the channel from basically forever. That these are the important things to look at. Now the FOMC members are see. Maybe I should just be an FOMC member, right? I didn't think it was transitory. It wasn't transitory. I said the core was important, and now they're listening to the program, and Waller must be listening. And again, he's like, yep, core is what matters. But this is the thing that's kind of scary over here. We know the job, companies are laying off, jobs are a thing. It's harder to get a job. We know that the JOLTS data is still pretty high. Now we have the spender not spending. Again, kind of leads us down that rabbit hole of crap. Are we going to be in a raising interest rate environment to battle inflation as well as going into a recession because nobody's spending any money anymore? Could be, could be. And these were things that we mentioned. Evil, evil words like stagflation, right? Those kinds of things. Yeah. Um, yeah, scary stuff. Obviously, tomorrow, nothing. Sunday, nothing. And then Monday, we roll back in and we start with the manufacturing again. We have Lagarde speaking early on, and then we have monetary policy notes for Aussie, which I think is going to be fun. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, I don't know if So, biggest mover on the board right now. I would say there's nothing really monstrous. I mean, the dollar yen up 97. It's okay. I mean, five in this one. I think the overall, in looking at this, the generalized view of it, we saw dollar weakness yesterday. We're seeing dollar strength today. And this is why swing trading has been a lot harder lately because we have big up one day and big down the next day and big up the next day and big down the next day. And this is why I always go back to it. A lot of people are like, if you're going to trade, you're going to do a swing trade and long term trade and stuff like that. Honestly, what you do really depends on the environment that you're seeing in the markets. If it's up big one day, big down the next day. I mean, if you're holding positions for multiple days and you have something like this where the Aussie, it's like, I'm swing trading this one, it's moved 6 pips. That's a lot of risk out there versus the moves that have been happening on a daily basis. So again, I love the big time frames, but it's just like saying I love this strategy, right? Strategy XYZ. I love it. It's great. But you have to understand what are the pros, cons, limitations to that strategy. And by strategy, you may say, well, what about you mean supply and demand doesn't work? No, it does, but what you got to look at is it working on daily 4 hour time frames? Depends. If it's more of a sideways choppy market back and forth, maybe trying to do the swing longer term trade thing is not the best idea because there's so much unknown, so much uncertainty. Where some people are like, nah, you don't want to day trade. It's way too much, way too stressful. It's like it's the same thing. It just you don't have to wait weeks for it. But right now, if the market is only providing those opportunities, that's what you got to trade, right? That's what trading is looking at the environment you're in, crafting a plan, following the plan. So, yeah, there's that. I look at this -2 right now. So that's what we got going in. Let's look at the VIX. So VIX is kind of deteriorating back down again, as it should. All the biggest data is out for the week. It's Friday right now. You can see not much movement in the overnight. It continued to deteriorate. We talked about that yesterday. That hey, listen, the worst of the worst was out. PPI was out there. Retail sales was going to be big, and you see a little bit of a pop up again. But for the most part, I think the writing was on the wall. And again, Waller is not talking about retail sales. Waller is talking about the core numbers. Okay, so all the inflationary data is out. Now, dollar kind of going up from that data as it should be. As I said, the market is like, wait, what do you mean we're not going to lower? We're not going to raise lower interest rates this year. What do you mean? I mean, the Fed from the very, very beginning says that they were going to go to restrictive territory and then hold it there for quite a long time. And for some reason, that second piece of it, um, yeah, yeah. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like the statement, right? The trend is your friend. And everybody quotes that one, but there's a second part of that line that everybody forgets, right? Yeah. So, um, right now, I will say one thing with the dollar. We can take this one off. We can take this one off. In looking at this and looking at this most recent high to low, again, very, very easy draw, high to low with fibs. People are like, oh my God, there's a pivot, draw it, bam. Yeah, there's something going on right there. But look at the zone right here, right? Nice push down, nice pullback, and then boom, explosive move off of it. You can see that's kind of what we're flirting with. There's the actual red candle. So we're right there. But it's also a 23.6, and people will see that and say, oh, trend continuation. That's it. The dollar's going lower. We're breaking 100. So there is an artificial kind of factor in here. We know that it did spike up because of news and those comments. The big question is, were those comments a fundamental change in the market, or were they just a gut reaction to something? This is kind of a hard one to figure out because why what Waller says is not truly a fundamental change. At the same time, he's saying the same thing, which is leading to an overall change in the market that basically all the Fed people, all the Fed presidents have said, but the market has chosen not to listen to. So it's kind of like The Fed's message has been consistent. The market doesn't believe what the Fed is saying. So where do you go with that one? It's a little bit different than like an economic news release where it's data from the past and there's a gut reaction to it and it spikes up, right? So I would say that there is a potential right now. We've had kind of a news burst. It is arguably a kind of a proxy, right? It's kind of a proxy fundamental change. It just is the market going to actually listen to it or not, right? But anyway, yeah, again, we are approaching that 10 o'clock time frame. This is where reversals will come in. There has been a big spike up. For the most part, though, I mean, if you look at it, here's the 3 o'clock window. It has really been straight up. So this is where you would expect to see the reversal and kind of push to the downside. What's interesting about this is even though we had very negative retail sales, this popped. Why did it pop? Hold on. God, why is everybody calling me right now? One sec, guys. In webinar. Um, this would be the area where we would see a reversal. We'd have some selling coming in. Right now, all the indices, I'm going to say they're flat. They are all in the green right now, but like NQ is up 0.09, YM 0.08. The biggest mover, Russell, 0.35 or 0.38, 0.36. ES 0.27. So they're not really there. Overall today, based off of the data, just looking at it at kind of a bird's eye view, right? We got Waller saying, "Hey, listen, we're gonna hold here for a long time, guys. We got to learn. Not much has been done with core. It's not working." And what he's seeing, I'm sure, is what we're seeing, right? The core is there. People are looking at the CPI, but what is oil doing? Remember, oil stripped out of the core number. Is oil high right now or low versus say a month or a couple months ago? It's very, very high. So it will catch up, and then the regular CPI number will move. And I think he's kind of looking at that. So and then also we don't have people spending. So overall, purely fundamental reasons why, or for just at that level, the markets really should be red today. I don't think that they were, taking the Fed serious. Dollar rallying again. Maybe we get a little bit of a dollar flip, but I think for the most part today, retail sales numbers being down, not great. Inflation being high, the Fed saying we're going to do more, not great. Um, the big question is how many people will be trying to see that data, sell it, and then obviously the big money on the other side, kind of taking the opposite side. So talked about oil. It's up 1%, 82.98. Not like in that 83. Now I will say I still am a big believer of Sam's Club. I had to get gas yesterday. It was 360 everywhere else, and it was 341 at Sam's Club. So I was like, oh, gotta love a 20-cent savings. But I'm still not happy about paying $3.40 per gallon, right? Not happy about that one. So yeah, the Reduction Act is not working, right? Everything they said they were going to do, not working. Now, natural gas, look at this bad boy back at 2. Told you 2 was a big number. We're down. It was actually a little bit lower than that, too. It was below 2, kind of stabilizing itself. So there's that. Gold, you're seeing gold down 0.83. Obviously, strength in the dollar coming up. Kind of seeing, and again, the Fed acknowledging that inflation is the fight is not done. That's what's leading that down. And then silver, trying to play catch up a little bit. Silver actually high. I think 25.86 is quite high for silver, and I'm curious to see if again, kind of the super speculative traders are in there. Again, remember, of the two of gold and silver, you're going to have your riskier, more speculative trading in silver, not gold. Gold has more applications. Again, typically when you're looking at somebody's portfolio, you'll talk about gold, right? Because that's your hedge for inflation. When you're talking about portfolios, you're not talking about hedging with silver, right? When we talk about, again, it was kind of like the whole crypto thing, right? The big boys played Bitcoin. The not big boys were playing Litecoin, right? It's kind of the same thing. That's what silver kind of falls back in. So Aussie dollar. All right. So yesterday we were talking about kind of a top in this one. We were sitting right in here. We were, talking about looking for a confirmation, and that confirmation did come in. So the confirmation, it ended up punching through at about 1 o'clock, and there's your red, green, red. So we were close on this one. The top is just a little bit off. There's your confirmation, your red, green, red. And there's your zone. And if you don't want to take it there, wait for it to pull back. There you go. You got it. And it pushed all the way down. Now, it did spike here with news, but I will say with it spiking right in at the 8 o'clock window, you were kind of looking for a short. And this one went a little bit high. So for where we are with it right now, I think the important thing to note is we've already kind of punched through this 23 in that kind of candle. And again, people are looking at this retail sales bad. Oh, yeah, it's going to be horrible. And while they're speaking, it's like, we're still raising it. And that's what's led this to a whipsaw. Um, I would say right now, again, the profit target we drew yesterday still is valid. And we talked about finding a top somewhere up here. I still think in your shorts, look to get out of these positions right here, right? 67.33. Um, Gotta love coffee when it's that perfect temperature. I think that's a great place for it to reverse. It was a decent amount of basing. It did kind of punch off of it. It is deeper than the 23. It's not quite at the 50, but for being a Friday, we're probably going to run out of time. And it's about another 27 pips down. That's the 4 hour ATR. If you add in 4 hours to this one, I mean, not a European based pair, but the European market's closed in 2 hours. It's going to start getting really, really dry. So, could we come down? Absolutely. Could we take a bounce off of that and still have enough time to get out of our trades before the end of the market today? Could be, but a little bit riskier, right? A little bit riskier. With again Waller's comments today, I think the market's going to kind of take a little bit of a pause and be like, really? So again, expecting this here right now, yeah, it's a 23.6. You're gonna have people artificially stepping in. We already know we have it on the dollar, and we know that, being close to 10, this is where there's gonna be some reversals. Question is it gonna be like a little bit of a hitch, right? Down, kind of just a fake pullback, and then boom, we'll push down, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. Going into the next week, right? Um, Couple levels to the downside. I like this artificially high up here because again, Aussie's already paused. The US is again looking at the data. I think the US is going to be very leery about doing much of a pause. It was mentioned, they said that, people mention it, but ultimately everybody agreed it needed to be risen again. Um, Seeing those core numbers and everything come out the next day, I still think we got another raise coming, and I don't think the market thinks that they do. So I do think that we are in a great area. I think leading into next week, again, if you're not out for today, I think leading into next week, there's a good opportunity that this one turns and rolls back to the downside. Okay. Aussie yen. So Aussie yen. Yesterday we were sitting right here. Okay. Love the fact that this spiked in here at 9:30 and pulled away. Again, it just kind of confirmed it, pushed it pretty deep. So still a big fan of this one. Again, we had that move. Nice rally up. And again, this one kind of again there you arguably could have said, hey, listen, there's the wick as far as the base goes. If you would have taken it too narrow, you missed. If you would have taken really where the acceleration happened, both of these were nice little sells. I like this one where it is too. Um, we are past the 70, so let me remove this. Right. Let's pull this over. This one's got a couple short trades for next week, which I think is good with the monetary policy notes with Aussie on Monday night. But again, here's your low. There's your high. You can see we came back down and grabbed the 23, which again is those artificial kind of reversals. And that was right at the. This is one of those ones. This is a kind of a 4 o'clock, 3:30 ish kind of initial push. 23 right turned back around, and really not much has changed. So I would say right now, I would say there's probably a level sitting right there. We've seen it twice. It's already hit it once, kind of hit it again, came back, and it's kind of stabilizing right here. Overall, I don't know on a Friday because again, obviously the Aussie and the yen are both closed right now. The reason this is moving is because of the yen, right? The proxy of the yen. We do have two short trades set up when we do turn and reverse. Could be a weekend based thing. I would say right now, I don't know that I would take this one. I don't necessarily. Again, it's hit there. I don't really feel comfortable with it, just because it is Friday. It is 10 o'clock, and you guys know how I feel about that one. But going into next week, I do like finding shorts up here. I do think that this being up here in the 90 range is a little bit high, but it's going to need some help from the yen. But with that said, this data right here, this monetary policy meeting note, they've already put a pause in talking about it and worrying about the economy. I think that could definitely be some weakness that we're going to hold it for a few times. We voted for it because of X, Y, and Z. These are all the bad things about the Aussie. So having this stay high here, I do think there will be an actual force, probably Monday night, that we're looking for short. So I'm obviously both these are going to stay on. I think both these have a great prospect for reversals, particularly on Sunday night, Monday, and then obviously Monday night to the downside. So I'm going to leave both those on. We'll leave that target on there. All right. But again, am I taking this one short here? Probably not. It's Friday. Euro dollar. That's what we had for euro dollar. So you can see, we had the position here. That one was out. Yesterday we were sitting right in this area, and we said, yeah, look for confirmation. And we kind of showed you what the confirmation was. No confirmation. No confirmation. Right? Red, green, red. You could have said, okay, there's a confirmation in, but again, we're sitting right at that area of buyers. So it's kind of like, do we want to go short right here where all these buyers have supported this level and we're stuck there? Not really. Not really. Right. If it had confirmed and been a little bit lower, then I think you pulled the trigger. But if you did, and we said, remember, this is a 4 hour window, right? You can see that it came back down and it's much, much lower than where it was yesterday. 35 pips down. We talked about this one pulling back into this 10 range. So this trade is out. We'll remove it. This went just a little bit higher in there. And you can see right now we're running into the 23 as well as the initiation of that move. So I would say right now, again, this goes back into the whole dollar reversal. It's been straight up all morning. The news was there. There was a big spike down. I actually don't think that this one is horrible. This one with the euro and the dollar, I think, could have enough room coming in. The big question is, do you listen to Waller or do you listen to retail sales? And what is the narrative right now going on that people are listening to? I actually do. I actually am hoping that this one does push back up. I would like to be able to get this one short next week. The Euro's made some very bearish, bullish comments, but I feel like once the U.S. market is like, hey, listen, Waller said he's holding it. They're not going to cut interest rates. Wow, this could be some dollar strength. I think it rolls back in. For me, again, being close to 110, this is obviously a large psychological level. Um, it's a big one. I mean, it's not one flat. It's not parity, but it's pretty close. By the way, if you were looking to trade this one and you're looking for an extreme, you could have traded this for news. Right there's your level. Right, you can see it did not break. Right, this is what your news trade would have looked like on it if you had traded it news wise. Right, because you're going to the being down here. You're looking for the confirmed level. Here's the confirmation off this base. There's your 1 to 3. Right? Looking for the confirmed level, confirmed base, within range, spiked up at news, and all the way back down. And I think, yeah, right. 745, pulling up, 815, boom, boom, out in one candle. All right. So there was a trade with it. And again, you would not have been taking the 4 hour zone. We talked about this 4 hour zone big hold. So yeah, so a couple different ways to trade that one. It's out now, so again, there's no point in talking about it. But again, I don't think I'd use this level because it goes really, it's that big now. But it was a nice trade for news. So you're out. So yeah, if we turn in reverse here, totally expected. Maybe it tries to push back down a little bit more, but this was a decent takeoff point, and the fact that you have the 23, the decent takeoff point, and the 10:30 reversal in the morning, I think all those are reasons why I'd be very cautious with this one. As well as you had a new spike down into the level. The entry was excellent. You love when it goes straight down like that. This one to me looks like it's gonna, I feel like this one will kind of tick back up today. Okay. Looking at euro pound. All right, so euro pound. We can delete the curve now. So again, this was just for education purposes. We don't need this one. All right, so our test ended up getting punched through here with time. Oh, that was what we were doing with yesterday. We talked about a potential reversal there. And again, we said that 786 not really our jam. Take that off now. I'll leave that there right now. Let's take this. People will be looking from low to high. See if we got anything that matches up that's pretty decent. And again, these markets are over for 2 hours. I still think I like this the most. Hmm. All right. Man, it's so funny. I can write something really, really fast. And I'm not the best on a keyboard. Like I can be fast, and there's certain things I can do. I still kind of look at it, even though I don't technically need it. Spell check can only do so much. All right, so 88.63 is still kind of where I'm looking at this one to turn and reverse. We know that the UK is, what their statements are. ECB's made some very bullish comments this week. I would say it's a decent level if you look back. We already got one trade off of it and kind of two front runs, but both times hit and drop very, very fast. Hit, drop very, very fast again. And this week has been pretty much straight up. And right now, wherever this reversal comes in, you can see the 23.6 is an area, and there is definitely basing there. So whether it comes up to here, whether it comes into here, we have that area in both places. So kind of looking for reversal. It needs 17 more pips to go. It's Friday. Market closes in 2 hours. Can we move up 17, get in this position, and have enough to roll all the way back down again? Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? Probably not so much. But this is an area for Sunday night. I think this is a good level that you could potentially get into. Again, very, very high on the curve right now. Sunday is right there. So a little bit of a push up. If we can open in there, I think that's a decent too. All right. Euro yen. All right. So euro yen. Talk about some chop in this bad boy. So yesterday, we were sitting right here and we talked about a level here. We hit it. We kind of pushed all the way down. We hit it again. We pushed even deeper. All right. So at this point, you are up 1 to 2.9. Okay. This is one of those ones you hate. And this is why I think it's so important. Some people, and again, there are different takes on this. And my opinion has changed on it over time, particularly in the market environment that they're in. The setting and forget mentality, as you put it on, I'm fine with the loss either way. I'm just going to take it. But one of the things that I like to bring up constantly here, and this is why, some of the trades that I like, you can see that this is, I don't know if you can see it or not. You should be able to, maybe not. You guys know my favorite trade setup is 10 risk for 30 profit. Okay. 10 risk for 30 reward. The reason why I like that one is throughout my time with trading and being involved in the markets and teaching and everything else, for me, a lot of times you tend to see reversals around 30 pips. I don't know why. I don't know if that's the way machines do it, scalping do it, whatever it is. But my big belief is once things get beyond 35, 40 pips, they become prone to reversals. Whether it be profit taking, algorithmic trading, high frequency trading, whatever you want to call it out there, I feel like anything past that seems to be a lot. Now, in this position, you were up 50 pips on this one. Now, yes, I got it. If you look at this, the risk on this one is about 22 pips. So you're like, well, wait a second, it's got to be at least 60, right? 60 is right. Let's see, from where that entry was, 1 to 3 is sitting right there, 66 pips, right? So it had gotten all the way down here. I was, in this trade, you're shooting for this much, and your risk now is that much. Is this a good use of your capital, right? Trying to make this, risking all this to make this. My opinion, no. So a lot of times, again, you don't want to overcomplicate things. But the important thing is to understand just the area that I marked off right there, just that area, the 30 pip mark in a move. Or I'll just draw this 30. 30 comes in right there. That's the 30 pip move. There's your first 30 pip move. What happened? Started the retrace. Came down, retraced again. Right? There's your push. 30 pips, retraced again. Right? Now, this one was a little bit more of a 30, but same thing. 30 pip move, retrace. Right? 30 pip move, retrace. 30 pip move, retrace. And again, if you want to call this the heartbeat of euro dollar, my belief is when we're taking some of these higher, when I say higher, 22 is not high. Please don't get me wrong. But is it higher than what the normal is? Yeah. Yeah, it is. I'm sorry, euro yen. It doesn't matter. It's the same on all of them. So for me, when things get a little bit deeper, and again, this one obviously can go a little bit more. 66 pips is not out of the ordinary. But when things get to be a little bit far, I'm not a big believer in. I like to take single moves, not kind of playing reversal, and I don't like 3-day based trades. So for me on this one, you probably got stopped out at a 1-to-1, 1-to-2, something along those lines. It did end up punching lower. It hasn't broken through. It's really just channeling sideways at this point. So play it how you like. right? We did talk about 147 being such a big number. We are looking to close there by the end of the week. We are close. Kind of getting concerned we won't hit it. We do still have time. It is pulling back, but we were talking about it closing um, right around that 147 mark. I do like the 147 mark. I think we will get some assistance from the yen next week. And again, we're seeing the euro high on the curve on everything out there. So I do think there's going to be some opportunity for this one to turn and roll and push to the downside. But as far as the trade today in this one, not so much. We had the trade yesterday. It went down. It moved about 50 pips before turning and reversing. And again, every pair is a little bit different. Pound, dollar. All right. So you ready for this one? You'll be like, oh, got stopped out. You sure? You sure? Let me remove this. Did it get stopped out? Well, I don't know why I drew it there. Anyway, there's your entry. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, I guess it went down first. Anyway, there was the trade that we were talking about. Right? Let's see. Did it go down first? No, it didn't. Why is it drawing it that way? Yeah, see? Okay, now it's drawing it right. See, did you see that? Here's on the 1 minute. You can see we tagged it and got out on profit. But as soon as I go to 5 minutes, it's taking the entire candle where the close was, not realizing that it had already hit the profit target. It's annoying. I should send this in and be like, hey, TradingView, fix this. Because technically it was up and stopped itself out first. Your technology is given the wrong look here. But again, 1 minute, you guys can see it was already stopped out. The 1 minute candle closed right there. So we know that it didn't drop down. This is the candle it went through. It's out. Bring it to a 30 minute. There's your trade. Oh, we can go to 15. It doesn't matter. 15, whatever. There's your entry. There's your news trade. Even though it pushed down. So that's kind of what you like to do. So that one's out. This was, again, 10 for 30. Favorite trades. Pound dollar. All right. So that one is out. It did kind of Harry Potter on the other side, which is kind of funny on the lower time frame, but it would have been a Harry Potter trade for me. All right. So where we are now with this one. That was a good trade for news. Right now we got smooth sailing. There's nothing in here. It's kind of a little bit of a testing level right here at the 50%. I think it comes down. I think the important profit level is right there. Right. I don't think we have a problem reaching that one. Unfortunately, it's a little bit deep to get into a trade right now. It's about another 30 pips down. But if it does push that far, that would be. We're 99 pips right now. So we're at a daily ATR right now. We're at a daily ATR right now. So if it pushes down that much farther, that's 1.5 times. We should see a bit of a reversal. I don't know that we're going to have time to come down, hit it, and go all the way through. It'll probably hit this at like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's possible. But again, we do have a little bit of buying in here. It is the 50%. The 61 will be there. There's absolutely nothing standing there. I think look for this one to continue to push down. Take your profit at 124.07. Pound yen. Yeah. Yeah. So let's bring this right at 3. There's 3. So, yeah. Here's another one of those situations where sometimes it gets to you, right? Do you trail? Do you not trail it? The risk on this one was triggered at 9:30, and we were sitting right here yesterday saying that, hey, listen, this is a parabolic move. Look for retracing. It didn't actually make it all the way up yet. Okay, so if you were a pure set and forget base trade, if you didn't do a single thing with it, you're still in this trade, and that's where we're at right now. Okay, but I don't know if you can see it. This one missed the profit target by 1.7 pips. It has a spread of 3. So, could you still be in the trade? Sure, absolutely. You could have been banking it in. But you also risked all this. You saw all your profit deteriorate all the way back down. You actually were red for a second time, right? Because again, you start every trade red. It did poke down a little bit. So you were red here. You were 99% of the way. You watched it go all the way back down. And then now it's coming back up again. Could you have taken another entry? Sure. Could you have stopped yourself out somewhere in this area? Sure. Could you have like locked in on this one and said, "Hey, listen, I'm going to lock in 40 pips right here"? Could you have locked in your 40 pips and be like, "If it comes back down, maybe I'll go again," and then say, "Well, hey, this one, that's where the entry was, so there should be clean to there," and then taken another trade, and then said, "Okay, I'm going to set this up 1 to 3 there because I still like that zone, right? There's your 1 to 3." Oops, it would be here. Sorry. It actually did trigger, but we went a little bit lower. You could have taken this trade twice. So yeah, but this is one of those ones where you're like, there's the zone, there's my 1 to 3, and it just missed it. it went 2.92. So yeah, that's why in this current market, has it really changed? Nah. In 24 hours, it's 25 pips different from where it was. So again, that's why I say in this market, lots of chop. I mean, the daily ATR on the pound yen is 171 pips. That's the average day. 171 pips. 25. Sideways market. But two different trade setups in there. And again, if you can bank, even if you can bank 40 pips on it, great. You can be done. It's Friday. Take your 40 pips and go. If you wanted to do it a second time, great. You just did it twice. All right. Dollar CAD. All right. So dollar CAD. What did we say? What were we looking for? Where's the news? Here it is right here. What do we do? 133, baby. Turn and reversal. Right. So yeah, it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's nice that we can draw it now. It's a shame there's not a zone there. A little bit one of a higher. Hmm. Favorite of zones. But see what the others. Get close to. Yeah. See how we're playing with this one? It has broken it. Right? It has broken it. But if we move just a little bit more, we do definitely know we have a zone sitting in here. So if we move a little bit more here, probably coincides with what we have right here. So let's see. It's below. It's below. We're seeing some weakness come in oil. Thank God. It's not a bad level. Gotta say, I don't mind that level at all. Question is, has it already done its reversal? It's not bad. How much risk is that? Let's see. Oops. 11 for 33, or 11.5 for 34.6. That one. That could be a nice little reversal trade today. Again, it helps the dollar still close up, but again, showing some CAD strength, which again we'll see. We're getting the dollar strength right now, but that could be a reversal point. It is just up above the 23.6. You do have basing up there, so it's not bad. It meets my range. Don't hold this one over the weekend, but this one is a potential for this afternoon. That should have enough room to run. Dollar Swiss. Here's our level from yesterday, right? 9:30. We're sitting here. We hit it, and boom, took off. So yeah, I mean this trade is out. We said this was a big area. We weren't really interested in taking shorts off of this. It did hit it at 10 and bring it back down. It came up again and used the same lower level. So had you drawn this one, I didn't have this trade set up on this one, but we did talk about this reversing back again from where we were. They were super low. 630 is when it tagged it. I did not trade this one, but if you had traded it, this is what it should have looked like. You should have used this candle right here. Right. That was the most near term we had with a confirmation. So you can see that there's the top. That's what it looks like. That's 1 to 3.6. So 1 to 3 is right there. Okay. Bet profit target. 45 pips. There's a potential. I'm gonna put this one yellow. There's a potential right there. I mean, really, you're supposed to draw it there. This has a potential for a Sunday night open. 89.68 or 89.69. Yeah, not bad. All right, dollar yen. Talked about the profit target being up here, looking for a reversal. We did get it. It came in at 930. When we started, we were kind of sitting up here, and you can see it came back down, needed it again, but it's now passed. So this one has been hit. Biggest mover out there. Still looking for this to continue to rally. I will say this: we're gonna have to chop through that, but that's why this is a Harry Potter trade. We still have this on live. I think that's fine. Hopefully, it doesn't break through the top before the weekend. I'd like it to come up and kind of. I'm okay if it bounces back a little bit. I'd like to start the week fresh, with having this in there. I'd even like I think this could even be great if we gap above. If we close here, gap above, and then pull back, I think that could be a trigger for Sunday as well. That could be I missed it by just a little bit. Oh no, I did get it. Man, that's dead on. Look at that. Yeah, something along those lines. That could be our Harry Potter coming in. So I'm good with that one. Obviously, it's moved a lot right now. I think this one is justified to do what it did. We talked about it coming back up. Profit target hit. It's out. There's nothing I can do with it now. So, what is bonds doing? Nice little deterioration bonds. All right, let's look at oil. All right, oil still up 0.77. We're not loving this one. It did come back though and touch the 78, so we don't need that anymore. Yeah, I mean, we talked about the short, but it is high in the curve. Kind of surprised we did have this pop. I would assume that we would have taken it down. Um, if we use this candle here, yeah, we got our 1, 2, 3. This one should not hold again. Should not hold again. It will push deeper into this big 4-hour daily zone. Problem with this one though is this: that retail sales number pretty crappy. This spike is probably because of people trying to short it, but the gold market is like, what did he just say? We're gonna hold it there for a substantial period of time. Um, anyway, I would say, yeah, again, little bias. Think this one's going to head to the downside a little bit. It should because of retail sales. This level has been hit too many times, so I think it needs to probably go a little bit higher. If it turns and reverses here, it's just front running that zone. I don't know that we can get out of this trajectory. I don't think we, again, unless something major happens, I don't think we're closing below 81.50. We'll see where it looks like on the next week. And what do we got here? Yeah, contract switch. So we got a contract again. I hate contract switches coming up. Natural gas. Look at this. Look at this. We talk about hits. 1, 2, 3. Did 4 hold it? Boom. Right down. We went down to 194. 195. Actually, 194.6 is where I went. 194.7. And now we're using this one. So love this one. Think it's great. We'll pull this Harry Potter off. We'll take all these off. We don't need any of these anymore. Again, you can see we're not really out of the channel. I mean, we keep pulling back into it. We can run the fibs just a little bit lower. Doesn't matter. If you want to take just the fibs off, just the most recent move, because again, so much channeling in this one. You do high to low right here, and you can see there is a level up here, right? We have some basing sitting here and a nice little pop off, and we're sitting there right now. But 2 is going to act like a magnet. So again, Friday, remember, the commodities markets do close earlier than the regular indices and things like that. And obviously, the currency market is later as well. It is at a 23.6. If this was like a Thursday, I think it'd be a better trade. But again, that 2 is going to act like a magnet in both directions. You can see there's nothing there, but like ding, ding, ding. We keep hitting it. Now we've broken it. Now we're starting to ride it, which is what you would expect on the weekend. Love it that it's down here too. I would love for it to close below 2. We've been talking about 2 forever. Um, we keep talking about these big spikes down trading in options. Great. Love where it is. I think it's exactly where it should be. If we can close below 2, there'll be a lot of narrative on that one. I think we can start looking at potentially even lower levels here. Remember too with natural gas, again, as we roll into summer, it's not really a natural gas type event. Um, you know, Natural gas is such a strange one. Oil, obviously, we have OPEC. We know who runs that market. The way natural gas is technically, it's the United States and Russia. Those are the two competing factors with it. The problem is if you're trying to hurt and cap natural gas prices, it's kind of self-serving for the U.S. So, it's kind of a weird market. It's kind of strange, but again, I think shorts in this one make a lot of sense. Gold just dropping through the floor. You can see we've come down. We've hit that profit target now. We're below it. Looking for 2,000. Yeah. And again, if you're looking to trade this one, you're looking for a peak. Yesterday morning, we were sitting up here and we said, hey, let's look for the confirmation. I mean, here's the draw. There's the peak, right? There's the confirmation. Late last night, 6 a.m. I tried to pull up at 8:30. Here's your gold short. Right there. Right before the profit target at 216. And you can see we're out at the 8:30 window. So gold is out. It's doing what it's supposed to do. I think 2,000 would be a very interesting target. We do know that we have levels down there. So I don't know if we can get much deeper. This one has obviously come through at this point, but that was our target. I think look for 2001. 2001 is what we're looking for. There's confirmations there. It's a big number. Again, closing above and below 2,000 is going to be a big thing, particularly on a Friday, going into the new weekend, or going into a new weekend. So yeah, look, I mean, we've got buyers there. So, but yeah, not surprised by this one at all. We were calling this one yesterday from that top. We just needed that confirmation. And we ended up getting it over technically right here, right? There's a red, there's a green. Red didn't close there, right? Then greens are up. Red, green did not close above. Red, green didn't close above. Red, green. Red didn't really actually red closed here. So technically your confirmation is there, right? But again, we take the whole zone back. So there's your confirmation entry. Go gold, right? Go gold. Even if you didn't wait for the confirmation, if they took that one with your confirmation, you're either, it doesn't matter. Either one, you either waited for the confirmation or you just took it, set and forget. Both of them worked. Silver. What did we say yesterday? We were sitting. Where are we at? Where are we at? Oh, this is Thursday. We were sitting right here. Right here. We said 2606. We ended up hitting that late last night, and the news time today. Both of them triggered. It wouldn't matter which one you took. 1 of 3 is sitting right there. So doesn't matter if you got entry here. Again, this one whipped all the way down. You could have taken yourself out. I would have said watch profit targets right here. Right? But once it pushed down deep, you were clear to go all the way. And there's your entry down. So gold and silver, we talked about both levels yesterday. They both tagged. They both are out. We talked about 2 profit targets to the downside for silver, 25.47 or 25.48. It's right there. We're real close. We're within, what, 6 cents? Within 6 cents of hitting that profit target 1. Profit target 2 is at 25.21. I do think silver is very, very high right now. But again, this is the... Technically, silver should be down 3% right now because it's supposed to do double what gold does. Gold is just taken off. So if silver catches up, we're back down to the 25 mark. So, but it's pretty much over. Remember before I said the indices should be red? They're all in the red. They've all gone quite negative. Yeah. So nice trap at the open. All right. Let's drop this down. Let's explain what happened here. All right. So, ooh, look at that. 9:15. So, yeah. There's your overnight position. The 9:30 is right there. Yeah. So the news was so bad, right? There is your overnight. There's your confirmation at 8:45. There's your 9:30 candle. This is going to be hysterical. There's your 1 to 3 long. You may say, well, wait a second. You said the news is bad. It is bad. It's so bad. Everybody trying to short at the open. What happens? Boop. Price pops up. There's your 1 to 3. So There is your opening print. Long. Overall, yes, they should absolutely be red for the day. But yeah, opening print long, super easy, confirmed in the overnight. It was confirmed actually with the news. The news drove it into that level and then it based, and then right in time for the open to take off. There you go. There's your one. NQ. So NQ 845. So unfortunately, same trade, right? This is where we were yesterday. We were here yesterday, and we talked about hitting 13,230 or 20,203. We hit it at 3 o'clock and just deteriorated all the way down. Way I would have traded this in after hours is not use that old wick. I don't like those wicks, so I was saying look for a confirmation at the top. I do think this is a decent little zone right there. And again, if you took this as your confirmation, here's your entry in European session, right? So we're looking for the confirmation. The confirmation technically came in here. And again, confirmed of that level. There's your touch in actual market. Again, this is a super late at night entry. Here's your European open is here. So again, European session with volume. Pushed it down. Grab the buyers here and push back up. So unfortunately, here's 830. There's your 830. Here's your news, or here's your open. It was already too much. It already moved too much. So unfortunately, couldn't take advantage of it. Red, as you would expect. So 1 for 1 or 1 for 2 as far as entries go. This one had already done the same thing. So there's your top. Right. There's your top. 830 drove it down. Your 915, 930 candle drove it right back in at the open. And there's your short. So this one technically is a 945. But yeah. That's 316. It's past. So yeah. So there's two. For this one, there's not a whole lot stopping this one. If we can push through this 1030 mark, I think this one comes down to here. Can we hit 33,812 today? It's probably a target. Decent target. And good old Russell. Yeah, the 930. Look, it started to drive it back up again, and same trade as the last one. Again, buyers at the open, right into the level where it reversed off of news. Again, confirmed news sellers. So yeah, this one technically is a 945 as well. So a little bit late. It drove it right to the zone. There's your 1 to 3. And look at that. Sit at Magic 1800. So I think this is a very interesting one. Again, if we're doing high and low on the curve, you can see I can take it off it. Obviously, it came back and hit the 78. So again, we can remove it, just reverse it to the other direction. Take it from here up. And you can see the 50%. Magically, the 50% is literally right on the 1800. Dead on, right? So yeah, it probably bounces around. There's a little bit over here at the 61.8 as well. It could potentially come all the way down to the 78 as well. Russell, be cautious today. Going to be a little bit more volatile than everything else. But yeah, everything's in the red. They all deserve to be in the red. Maybe we have an end of the day rally because people want Feel Good Friday in. Maybe a couple of them have areas where they could take bounces off of. But for the most part, you should be out. All these easy trades are easy to take this morning. Hopefully oil comes down. Look at natural gas, 1995. 1996 now. Going for under 2 on that one. Gold and silver, again, both getting nuked. They should both come back down. Again, we should be looking at 2025 on those. So we'll see what it does. Has the dollar pushed up? Yeah, the dollar's pushed up. It's getting close. The dollar's getting close. But maybe we can close back up at that 101.50 again, as I think it should today. All right, that's it. Let's go ahead and do the drawing today. 5 viewer in. I'm not going to say any names because we, you know who gets upset when I say names, and then there's winners and losers. Who got in today? Who are we missing? I guess we got our usual suspects in. No Eki. Eki sometimes gets in on Fridays. Fridays and Mondays are Eki days. All right. So, all right. Let's close this bad boy down. I'll give you guys. We'll do it right now. Right at 2:30. Boom. There we go. All right. Winner of today. Oh, look at this. Ernest sneaking in at the last second. Look at that. All right. Winner of today's drawing. Ernest versus everybody. It's 5 versus 5. Winner of today's drawing is Ernest. Ernest took it with 50%. It was a flip of a coin. He went in big at the last minute. I did not know that he was going to do that. But again, he had the highest odds in there. Again, spending 40 pip chips right? Spending 40 pip chips for 25, but he did halt Will. But it's funny, Will went 2 yesterday and 1, and then on his second one, he goes 1. So, yeah. It's leaderboard. Let's go over here. Ernest, let's give him his 25. Let him claw back a little bit there. There we go. All right, everybody. That's it for today. Remember, Monday morning early, we have Empire State Manufacturing. It's been ugly. It's forecasted to be ugly again. We'll see what it looks like on Sunday night again. Yen is the biggest mover right now. I think it's probably at a stage where we could see some reversing back again. Everything else is more or less flat besides a little bit of dollar influence. And again, big fight right here with the CAD. Boo oil. I think there's a great opportunity to be shorting Aussie on Monday as well. So with that said, I'm out of here. Everybody have a great weekend. Hopefully you guys have great weather, and I'll catch you next week, Monday morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you then.